Hey everybody, it's your instructor, Joel Woodard again, and I'm here for the construction drawing demo today. It's Monday, it's very, very wet outside. I'm looking at a rainy landscape as I'm looking out the window right now. So, nice day to be inside. Hope all of you are inside and safe and dry somewhere. Okay. So, construction. And as you can see, I did a drawing already. I did this yesterday after I went through my charcoal pencil sharpening demo. And I just wanted to get a feel for this object, my squirt bottle that I'm going to be drawing. And in doing that, after I did that, I realized it was helpful to draw out all of these basic shapes that I'm seeing in that squirt bottle. So got like a wedge here. I've got this other weird kind of shape, this other wedge that's like bent. I've got a half spherical shape here. I've got a cylinder that's been cut off. I've got a half sphere here. So there's a number of shapes inside of this. And I just thought it would be helpful to isolate those as after I did this, okay? And I'm gonna do this again for you right now, obviously. But I just wanted to show you this before I start. Um, Also, before I start, I took some time to sharpen the rest of the charcoal pencils that I have. You can see them right there. Um, that charcoal pencil that I used yesterday, or that I sharpened yesterday, I should say, used it a little bit today and put a little too much pressure on it. Look what happened. Snapped right off, which happens sometimes. So it's always good to have backups here. So I decided to give myself backups. When we meet again on Thursday, if you guys want, I'll do another demo in class where I sharpen this again. Okay, so let's get into this. Let me get a new sheet of paper here, and we'll go ahead and do a drawing of my squirt bottle. Okay, it's a really complicated object as I'm looking at this top nozzle area. Um, that's where a lot of those wedge shapes come into play. Um, all of these half spherical shapes sitting on top of other shapes. So, yeah, there's a lot going on here. And it might help you guys if you are drawing something complicated as this. Give it a good look. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no cheating involved with that. Um, and just to help you realize that whatever side you see, as you're looking at an object, you only see one side of it. Obviously, there's another side to it as well, but it helps just to actually give it a good scan, give it a good visual scan. Okay, because when we're drawing, we all have a tendency to just completely flatten things out and see things two-dimensionally and just stick to those outside lines like a lot of you have done. And there's no problem in that. That's how we all start in the beginning. So, I hope you don't beat yourself up too much about that. Um, However, I do want to try and shake you loose of that kind of thinking, that kind of practice, so that you can, uh, learn all of this other stuff that I'm trying to show you. All this other stuff is going to help you with your drawings. Okay. All right. So let's just get into this here. I'm going to start from bottom up. Now, I'm starting lightly, okay, using the side of my pencil. Remember, hold a pencil like that. Don't hold it like that, okay? At least in the beginning, okay? I might contradict myself a little bit later, okay? Just making some guesses about how tall this thing is. Making a judgment call on just how much of that top spherical surface you can see. Okay. Imagine a sphere that's been cut right in half, and the surface of that sphere that you can see is dependent on how far or how far away it is tilted towards you. Okay. That's what I'm thinking when I'm looking at this the squirt bottle here. Okay. So thinking it's about that. Now I'm coming down, tapers a little bit as we start this bottom sphere. Coming back around. The line's getting a little darker. Okay. So that's about it right there. Okay. Now there's another spherical shape here where the water is the surface of the water, I should say. So I'm going to draw that. Now as I'm looking, that surface of the water actually intersects up here. So maybe I wasn't right with where I initially drew it. Top of this is top of where the bottle is. There's a groove right here, and then in beyond this groove is another spherical shape. So I'm working with those divisions of this bottle. So now back to this water. Okay, it intersects this other sphere here, bringing this down. And something that might throw me off with this is refraction, the way light is entering this piece of plastic, this plastic bubble. And if you were to do something like this, it might mess with you too. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, if I wanted to get super specific with it, maybe we could take a measurement to see, how many of these oval shapes will get me down to the bottom. Okay. Um, I don't think I'm going to bother with that right now. I'm just going to kind of wing it and trust that what I've got is accurate. And it looks pretty accurate to me. Okay, now this next shape going up, spherical type shape sitting inside of this bottle. A little too much at the top. Got my chamois here. Hold on just a second. I gotta stand up for a minute. Knock that off. I don't know if you were able to hear any of that, but behind me here, I have a pet rabbit, and sometimes she really loves to chew up the lining of her pen. I have her pen lined with cardboard. She loves chewing on that, so sorry if that's a distraction. Okay, so establishing what we have. This sphere, I'm going to go a little heavy with this delineation. Coming all the way down. Now, I'm pretty confident making these outlines. I hate to call them outlines. I'm going to say contours. Okay. After I've constructed everything here. Okay. Pretty happy with that. I'm still leaving this light because there is a tube in the middle of this. I'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, back up here, sphere. Now we've got this cap sitting on top of this. What's basically sitting on top of this is this type of shape here. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if you can, but it's basically a cylinder that's kind of been chopped into a small section. That is basically what's sitting on top of this sphere here. And the edge of it coming out. Looks like it tapers in a little bit. Right there. Okay. And we've got a little bit more. I'm going to give this a little bit more. There's some divisions there. Man, she's really ripping it up. Okay. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm a little concerned that this top head of the squirt bottle is going to go off my page here. Might happen, it might not. Let's see. I'm gonna deal with that right now. So as I'm looking at that, this sphere, the cylinder here sitting inside of that appears to be a pill shape, a pill type shape. Something like that. Okay. Trying to go a little heavy on the lines here so that you can see it. Okay. That's pretty much what's going on there. And that's going to intersect the wedge of this thing. Okay. So that is like chopped off right here. It's a half of a pill shape. Okay. I were to go a little further with what I've got over here. That's what's going on. Yeah, that's what's going on up here. Okay. So let's take a look at what we've got. So I'm seeing this line here, and this is going around and sitting on top of the surface of this pill shape. And you know what? What am I going to do? This is what I'm going to do. I can already tell that this is going to intersect the page. So I'm going to finish this demo on another sheet, which I rarely do. Usually I'm a better judge of composition than that. Happens sometimes. Okay. So I am starting with the back of this wedge shape. I'm just going to be really general about it. Okay. And then curves here. Comes around. Let's establish that pill shape that I had. Okay. That other half cylinder. Going around like that. Coming down. Okay. Okay. So this wedge resting here, one side of it resting here on that pill shape, that means that another side of it has to be resting on the other side as well. And I can lightly see it myself, teeny tiny bit. Yep, that's what I'm looking at. Touches right there. This goes along the surface to meet up this other side. It's a complicated object, so it's really hard to see this stuff, let alone draw it. So if you're new to all of this, I would recommend giving yourself a simpler object. So just establishing some things here. A little firmer with the lead, making for a darker mark. Every curve here, we know, is part of an ellipse. So I'm just lightly drawing that ellipse through what we can see, through the surface that is closest to us. Lightly just kind of drawing it like that. An old drawing teacher of mine, he would call that ghosting, just kind of ghosting it. His name was Joe Weatherly. He's one of the best drawing teachers I've ever had. Okay. So I'm going to leave a head right there because we're going to concentrate on the top here. Okay, so looking at this wedge here, I can see that there's a cylinder in the middle of this. Luckily, I have a semi-transparent spray bottle here. And this cylinder looks like it's sitting right on top of this pill shape that I drew. And it looks like this is part of the trigger. It's molded inside the head of this thing. I wasn't able to see all of that if this wasn't a transparent spray bottle. I might just have to fake it. Back up here to the top, let's see. There's a lot of lines going on here. Hard to see what's actually construction lines, what's actually part of the shape of this object, and what might just be decoration. I suppose I could have lit this object a little bit better, but going with it anyway. Okay. You can see I went a little wrong here. Smudging that out. So I've been saying that with charcoal, so with charcoal pencils, it's a little harder to get rid of the lines you make. But if you're light, it can be forgiving. I think I'm not stuck with too much right now that I don't want to be stuck with. So there's a white circular shape here. I know that that's on the other side. Just gonna leave that. Okay, now going back to this cylinder shape. Need to construct this trigger. So I can see one side of it. That tells me there's another side to this as well. Coming down. Here comes the trigger. Comes down from this point here. So it's going to naturally come down from this other point here. And that lining up with what I'm seeing. Bottom of this trigger's right there, mostly. And there's that. It's a really heavy line I just drew, but I don't think it's incorrect. Establish that. Okay, teeny bit of space coming back out here. And now this is going all the way up here, bringing that down to that little line that I drew. Now, this is geometric shape. So this down here, this bottom, okay, it's a little distorted. That little mistake up here. That is basically what's going on right here with this trigger. Okay. So I need a little more information. This is all molded plastic. So one piece molds right there. That ends right there. Let's see. This is actually going to go to the other side. And that is going to meet up right there, out of our view. Complicated stuff. Again, there's a lot going on with this. We're almost done. We're almost there. Now, this nozzle, circular shape, semi-distorted cylinder, a short cylinder, is going to be extending off of this flat surface that I just drew, that we've constructed, I should say. Okay. I think there's a few more things that I could go. I'm sorry. There's a few other construction lines that I think I could establish with this, but I don't want to get too crazy with it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to knock this all back down, just like what we've been doing with gesturing. Okay, I'm not going to erase out the lights. I'm not looking for value here. What I am looking for is to solidify some of the lines that I've drawn here. Solidify the visible surface that we can see. Okay? Knocking all this back. Still see it, still perfectly visible. All right? And I think I'm going to switch out one of my pencils. By the way, this is a pencil extender here. I don't think this was part of your kits at all. Whoops. But when your pencils get really teeny like this, instead of fumbling around trying to hold it very carefully, just stick it at one of these, lock it into place. There you go. You have a regular pencil again. Okay. All right. So reestablishing the lines, the solid lines that are closest to us, that are visible to us. See how all this connects. I guess what I'm doing right now is tracing over everything that I did. It's all built, though. It's all built on some solid knowledge. It's all built on construction. Having to look back over. The lines here were pretty strong initially, but going over them again anyway. These lines aren't 100% accurate, but construction is not the end-all be-all of accuracy. This is just one more skill in your drawing toolbox to help you get to closer accuracy with what you're looking at. So construction is going to help you get there. Gesturing is going to help you get there. Measuring and sighting certainly will help you get there. Okay. Add a few more things. Now, there's some lines that I'm adding here on the surface of this nozzle. Now, if I really want to get crazy with construction, I'd have to realize that those lines are actually grooves within the plastic. Okay, so there would be, it would, if we were looking at the nozzle from straight on, it would be something like that. Something like that. And then we would have to construct that out. I don't even want to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. One more of these. One more. It's like a gear. Yeah, it'd be something like that. So, not even sure if you can see it from where you are. I'll be sure to bring this drawing in with me on Thursday. If any of you want to take a closer look at it, but yeah, something like that is going on up here in the nozzle. It's not just those lines. Okay, it's important to realize that. We could fake it for the time being, but I want you all to have a deeper understanding of what's actually going on when you're doing the drawing. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this demo here. So again, we've got wedge shapes in the head of this squirt bottle, spray bottle. Got cylinders, some tall cylinders, short cylinders. We've got this pill-shaped type of sphere, elongated sphere, distorted sphere. call it that. Okay. We got complicated shapes like this that I don't even want to deal with drawing right now. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. Um, and again, part of why it's so important for you to draw these shapes, these geometric shapes, is because we see them in objects like this, obviously. Okay, that's why I had you all do those 3 pages of spheres, cubes, so on and so on. Okay, it's only going to help you out. So, all right, I think I'm going to call it a demo here. I'll post this soon. And again, I'll bring this drawing with me on Thursday. Um, also, I might as well just post images of it too, like I did a couple weeks ago. Forgot about that, but still, I'll bring it with me on Thursday. Okay. Hope you guys having a good week. Hope you all had a good weekend. Hope you're staying dry, and I will see you Thursday. Have a good day.